Believe it or not, the battle for the 2026 IPL has already started. It's not happening on the pitch, but in the boardrooms. The final retention lists are out, and they've basically given us the strategic blueprints for the league's biggest teams. So let's dive in and decode what these moves really mean.
So, this right here, this is basically the battle map for the next season. It tells us everything we need to know, who each team is betting on, and, just as important, how much cash they have left to spend. Just by looking at these 5 big teams, you can see their entire strategy for the option starting to take shape.
Okay, before we even talk about the money, let's get on the same page about retention. This is all about picking your core, the players you absolutely can't live without, the ones you're going to build a championship team around. It's the first and maybe the most critical decision a franchise makes.
And yeah, keeping those players costs money. Whatever's left over, that's the purse. Think of it as the war chest for the auction. And that number, well, it decides if you're shopping for superstars or digging through the bargain bin. In the IPL, cash is absolutely king.
So let's start there. Let's follow the money. A team's war chest tells you so much about their game plan. And let me tell you, this year, the gap between the haves and the have-nots, it is just staggering.
So who's really got the firepower to go out and make some noise at the auction? And the answer, wow. It shows 2 completely opposite ways of thinking about how you build a winning team.
Just look at this number. Chennai Super Kings are sitting on a mountain of cash, 43.4 crores. That's not just a healthy purse, my friends. That is a declaration of war. They can literally go after anyone they want.
And then you've got the other end of the spectrum, Mumbai Indians, with a teeny tiny 2.75 crores left. To put that in perspective, that's peanuts. That's less than what some teams will pay for one guy who hasn't even played for India yet. The financial handcuffs are on, and they are on tight.
So what you have here are 2 totally different playbooks. CSK has a blank check. They have the freedom to go after the biggest names and really control the market. Mumbai, on the other hand, is completely locked in. They have to find those hidden gems and hope for a bargain to fill out their team.
I mean, just look at this chart. The difference is absolutely huge. CSK's financial power just towers over everyone else, and Mumbai's was barely even on the scale. This imbalance right here, this is what's going to drive all the drama at the auction.
But money isn't everything. A team's real soul, its philosophy, that's revealed by who they decided to keep before the auction even started. This is how they built their core.
Yeah, these retention lists, they're like a window right into the minds of the front office. Are they banking on proven legends, or are they investing in the next big thing? This list tells the real story.
And now it all makes sense why Mumbai has no money left. They went all in on their superstars. Rohit, SKA, Hardik, Bumrah, Bolt. I mean, that's basically an all-star team right there. Their big gamble is that this core is so strong they don't really need anyone else from the auction. It's a massive, high-risk bet on proven talent.
CSK, on the other hand, is all about balance. You've got the OG, the legend, MS Dhoni holding it all together, while also building around guys in their prime like Gaikwad and Dubé. And throwing Sanju Samson in there, that's a super interesting move. It gives them a really solid foundation to build on with all that cash.
There's an old saying in sports management, and it's so true. Every great franchise has that one central pillar, that one player that everything else just revolves around. And for Royal Challengers Bangalore, come on, we all know who that is. Virat Kohli is still the heart and soul of that team, and they've backed him up by keeping explosive guys like Tim David and the super classy Devdutt Padikkal. It's a foundation built on pure, unadulterated batting firepower.
All right, so moving past the big money and the obvious big names, let's talk about the really interesting stuff, the gambles, the moves that make you kind of lean in and go, okay, what's the plan here?
So what about the teams that kind of went against the grain? What can their surprising choices tell us about their secret master plan?
Here's a perfect example. 2 teams in the middle of the pack with completely different ideas. On one hand, you've got Punjab Kings. They kept a massive 21 players. They're basically saying, hey, we like our squad, we just need a few little tweaks. On the other hand, Rajasthan went super lean, keeping only 16 players. That gives them more money and more open spots for the auction. So it's a classic case of quantity versus quality and flexibility.
And if you dig a little deeper into what Rajasthan did, you see a really clear strategy emerge. By keeping 2 of the best all-rounders on the planet in Ravindra Jadeja and Sam Curran, they've gone all in on versatility. This gives their captains so many options with both the bat and the ball, which is a massive, massive advantage in T20 cricket.
Okay, so
We've talked about the money, the core players, and the wildcard moves. Let's pull it all together and see where everyone stands before a single paddle even goes up at the auction.
And this table just lays it all out, plain and simple. You can see the result of every team's big decisions. CSK is sitting pretty with a small squad and a huge purse. That's the dream. MI has a stacked roster, but, well, an empty wallet. And everyone else is just trying to find that perfect sweet spot right in the middle.
At the end of the day, it really boils down to this. Chennai is in the driver's seat. They've got the money and the freedom. Mumbai has basically bet the whole house on their current superstars. And for teams like RR, PBKS, and RCB, winning will all come down to how smart they are with their more limited resources.
So, which strategy is the right one? Well, there's no single right answer, just different paths to the same trophy. A star-studded core, a massive war chest, or a balanced approach. We can see the blueprints, we know the plans, but now we just have to wait for the auction to see which of these master plans actually works.